What is up, guys? We're back with another video. Now today we're going to be talking about Stpehanie Sue, because she's been getting a lot of backlash. Some would call it hate, some would call it fair criticism of her coverage of the Diddy trial.
This is exactly the type, guys, this is why women probably shouldn't be journalists, because imagine it's the OJ trial and some woman's like, did you see that person doing the sketches? Like, that's something you make 20 years down the line in like
OJ was like low-key serving cunt in the courtroom.
Oh, now we're going to be reacting to a couple of videos I've seen on TikTok, talking about some of the comments that I've seen as well, and reacting to another video. So just basically reacting to stuff about Stpehanie, about the Diddy trial, and I'm going to give him my opinion in this video, and you guys are free to give your opinions in the comments below. So like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and let's get into it.
I was 2 years old when I found out Stpehanie Sue is a journalist. And I mean, I thought about it. I was like, okay, well, yeah, she is technically like reporting to us and like giving us all the deets. So probably it actually is a pass. I don't know why. I just thought you had to have like a certain thing in order to be a journalist. But yeah, she is a journalist in the sense. But I think the most like hard thing for me to like hear with all this is not the fact that like, oh, she's a journalist. It's the fact that she's in, like, the same fucking room as Diddy. Like, protect her at all costs, because what the hell? I don't want her in that same room with him. And then Diddy having a stare down? No. Also, comparing him to, like, a fuzzy koala, I don't think I'm gonna look at koalas the same.
Yeah, look, I forgot. I think she compared him to a koala in terms of, I think it was in terms of looks, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't, yeah, apparently he saw that comment as well.
Remember how I said that Diddy looks like a koala? I don't think that this man liked it. I didn't know, but it doesn't seem like he likes it. I thought this was completely unrelated, but every time some of his kids would come in or like his best friend would come in, they're always snooping. They're always like peeking over the shoulders of the sketch artist, trying to get a vibe of the sketches. And so I was just thinking, this man really cares about his sketches. Well, I'm going through the news this weekend. On Thursday, he tells one of the sketch artists, this is like when the jurors are not in the room, he makes an unusual request. Soften me up a bit. This is a quote. Soften me up a bit. You're making me look like a koala bear. What does that even mean?
And stuff like that. But the main point, you know, this whole thing, I'm going to get into this journalist thing that people mention. I know she was just saying it in terms of she probably just didn't know. But the whole like journalist thing, I don't get that, and I want to get into that more as the video goes on, because there are mentions of that again. But the whole thing about her, people being like, you have to be a journalist. When you look at like 2025 right now, what really is a journalist? Like, what really counts as a journalist? Because people have completely lost trust in the media, right? So, and these people that are so-called journalists, can you really trust all of them, right? And I say that to say, I think the definition of a journalist these days, I don't think you have to have some fancy title. I think as long as you're doing your research, right, and you've got your sources. I mean, most YouTubers are journalists. Like, YouTubers can be journalists. YouTubers can give you information. A lot of people go to YouTubers or go to the ones that are, you know, well researched and know what they're talking about, or at least will do the research. You know, they at least believe what they're talking about, right, for the most part. But these YouTubers you can trust, and people go to different YouTubers, whoever you go to. So people making this argument that she can't be in the trial, or, you know, she's not an actual journalist, it's like, I just ask, what is a journalist in 2025? I think she clearly does the research. If you've watched the videos before, she clearly does the research for a lot of this stuff. But we'll get into that more later. But I know that wasn't what she was mainly saying in this video. I know she was saying just asking the question. But I've seen that being brought up a lot. But yeah, let's get into the second video though. Look, guys, even this comment here, it says, but she's not though. Like, anyone can be a journalist, but there are ethics and standards. This is from someone who works in news. Yeah, I mean, look, you're saying that ethics and standards. What ethics and standards has she really broken? And I don't know. Again, with these whole journalists, you know, these people that work in news and sit on a high horse because they work in news. I mean, again, no one really trusts the media. So you sitting on a high horse, it doesn't really work with this generation. You guys know what I mean? It doesn't really work. You can't really do that, because most of us, whether you, I don't know, whatever political side you're on, or whoever you watch, right, for whatever type of journalist you get, I feel like most people my age aren't really going to the news. Whoever you watch, right, whoever you watch. Well, let's get into the next video.
This is a great point. If he does know her, that's a problem. Like, nobody wants to ask that question. Why would Diddy say to her, I know you? Because if he knows her, what does he know about her? What business have they done together? Has she hid something for him? Has she made journalistic critiques change their views of him? Was she involved with hiding some of the documents that could have, like, what does he know her for? And why is everybody overlooking that? Like, let's say she's right, or let's say it is right that he said, I know you, to her. Shouldn't we ask her why he knows her? Shouldn't we ask what's up with the fact that he knows you and you know him? You guys have done business together. Now he's on trial for all this bad stuff and you're covering it. Isn't that a little weird? Like, of course you were doing, let's say, I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But if he knows her, that's a problem. But let's go with my theory. He doesn't know her and she's just looking for clout or maybe attention or just covering the case. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, look. First of all, right, is it really not that hard or complicated as to why Diddy would know who she is, right? If you go on Spotify right now, she's the #1. I don't know about now, right, as this video has been recorded, but at least I know for the past 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks, she was the #1 podcast on Spotify, overtaking Joe Rogan, which, you know, Joe Rogan's Joe Rogan, right? But she was the #1 podcast on Spotify, one of the biggest streaming platforms, right? Even on YouTube, you look at the numbers she's doing on YouTube, and probably other platforms as well. So it's pretty obvious how, if Diddy was saying he knows her, what else would he be talking about? I don't know if you're looking too far into this. I don't know, but obviously he's talking about the trial because she's one of the biggest YouTubers, has one of the biggest platforms covering the trial. That's the whole reason, you know, that might have been the reason why she got in the court as well, because she's a big channel. Why would it be because they've done business deals or business dealings? I feel like that's your own little headcanon that you've got in your head, like your own little thing. Again, look, if you've got some sort of evidence of this or some hey, look, I'm willing to have my mind changed, but I highly doubt it's because of that. I think it's the obvious reason why he would mouth it to her, and him saying that she's getting clout off it. She's just covering the case like many other people do it, like the news do it. Because if we go into this argument of people getting clout off covering the case, right, what should we go into? Why the news covering the case, why all the YouTubers covering the case? It's obviously because it's a big case, and you know, that's her job, is to cover cases. Again, this goes into the whole journalist thing. I think the only difference between what she's doing now and what she normally does is that this is an ongoing case, and obviously, you know, she doesn't always touch on cases that involve murder and stuff like that, but like the only difference is like this, it's just an ongoing case. Like that's the difference, and there's no obviously murder, but I know she doesn't always cover that, but she covers it most of the time. But the only difference is this is an ongoing case, and obviously she's in the courtroom, so that's the only difference between what she's doing now. But you know, if it's other cases, she's doing research. It's just that she's in the courtroom now doing active research and actively showing us what's going on and stuff like that. You guys get what I'm saying? But yeah, weird conspiracy. Yeah, that's why most of this, when I see people saying most of the hate is forced, right, I see that, and a lot of times people say that about a lot of stuff, and I'm like, nah, maybe there's something here, but there's literally nothing here. I've not seen one really smart argument. I just see people complaining that she's in the court and calling her a mukbang YouTuber, basically, where she's not really, I don't think she's really eaten anything on camera for a while, or I guess just minimizing her to a mukbang YouTuber just seems a bit like, not that you're trying to insult her, because there's nothing wrong with mukbang YouTubers, obviously, but I mean, like, you should minimize what she actually does. You guys know what I'm saying? But let's move on to the next video. All right, actually, before we move on to the next video, though, let's read some of the comments, actually. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. So we got the first one here. Homeboy is secretly a Diddy fan. I wouldn't say he's a Diddy fan, but it's like, he just, I think it's pretty simple why he would say that. Say, obviously, I guess it's alleged. She's saying she saw it with her own eye, so, you know, but I don't know whether to say it's alleged or not, but I don't think she would lie. She's very serious about what she's doing. If people found out she was lying, again, it would just discredit her whole thing, like her whole channel. Like, people would just be like, you're a liar, wouldn't they? So I don't feel like she would lie. Means he has a phone in jail and is watching her documentations, which is wrong that he says that, because he's in jail, and how the hell would he know her face precisely? My theory is better. Okay, so that's the argument people are making, is how would he know her face specifically? Maybe he has a phone in there, or maybe, I don't know, one of his team knows who she is, and maybe, I don't know, someone pointed her out, or someone showed him a picture of her, something like that. I don't know, there's many different reasons, but obviously Diddy knowing who she is, one of the biggest people that cover the case, is not really surprised. Like, I don't know why it's a surprise. She's one of the not the biggest, but again one of the biggest people covering the case. But anyway, let's read one more comment. She's a journalist that has been around for years on YouTube and is known for covering crime cases. She has no reason to try and gain clout, and none of her videos have ever really given clout chaser. Exactly. Let's move on to the next video.
Okay, so I've been seeing on TikTok and on Twitter that some people are upset with Stephanie Sue because she posted a video where she was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and twirling around after being in a courtroom with Diddy for over 8 hours, and no. Not on my watch. Like, Stephanie Sue is literally the most unproblematic creator I know, and I've been watching her content for over 6 years, and for y'all to try to cancel her over this is ridiculous. And I honestly find it so funny when I come across videos and people are like, oh my god, Stephanie, what are you doing? Aren't you a mukbanger? Why are you calling yourself a journalist? You're just trying to use the Diddy case for content and views. It'd be like calling any news or media organization that covers the Diddy case that they're also using it for content and views. Like, Stephanie sat in that courtroom for over 8 hours. She took 79 pages of notes, and she did that for us. Not for herself. No, she did that for us, to keep us informed so that we know what's going on in the Diddy case. Now, this is a screenshot from the post that everybody's mad at, but she literally says that she spent all those hours in that courtroom, took all those pages of notes so that we can know what's happening. And if that's not journalism, I don't know what the hell is. Like, I can't even begin to imagine how it must feel to be in that courtroom for hours, taking notes, listening to all of the horrible things that he's been accused of, while also being surrounded by all these news and media outlets. And y'all are upset that she was relieved to get out of that environment and eat a fucking PB&J. Like, it would be an entirely different story if she came on here and was acting like, oh my god, guys, just got out of the Diddy courtroom. Oh my god, it was so intense in there. But you know what Diddy looks like? He looks like a cute little koala bear right now. Oh my god. And I took like a couple of notes, like a couple sentences in my notes app. I might talk about it in my podcast later, so you guys can just wait. No, she did nothing like that. So yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to keep Stephanie's name out your mouths, because it's like y'all have actual problematic creators on this app. Like, you have creators that have killed people and y'all are mad at her for nothing.
Do you know what? First of all, before I want to show you guys, if you haven't seen the video people are talking about, where they're saying she was twirling around and egg yo, which we'll get into that. We'll get into the egg yo part, because I don't normally call a lot of stuff. I don't know if I want to call it racist. I'm one of the people, I don't always jump to that. But I literally think people only said it is because she's Korean.
So I'm going to explain to you what aegyo is. And I really need non-Korean K-pop fans to watch this, because you have a huge misconception of what it is. You guys are continuously fed aegyo that is over the top, that is like irudagi irun kiyomi and like more shit like that, right? Aegyo is actually a very broad term for acting cute. Now, it's not inherently bad. It really depends on the context. There are also multiple different ways to do aegyo. Like, you can make it extra cringy on purpose. For example, if my dog wakes up and I'm like, oh, 잘 잤어요, 우리 새끼. That's aegyo. It's just ugly aegyo. Oh, and another example of a very non-sexual aegyo, non-romantic aegyo, is like my mom. When I used to live at home and I woke up, she would greet me in the morning going like, 아이고, 우리 baby 잘 잤어요. There's also a scene in Produce 48 where Wonyoung is like doing aegyo to her 언니들, just being like, nah, just trying to act cute to them. Sometimes it's done with the intention of making somebody else be like, 오글거려. And it's completely fine to like not like certain aegyos. That's fine.
That's literally. But let's see the video. I'll play the video and I'll let you guys be the judge of the video people are talking about. That's the first thing. I'm gonna play the video where she's talking, but that's the first video, guys. He's really seeing a problem with that. She just came out of court, filmed a little video. Do you expect her to just come out all depressed and just be depressed for like the whole time? She's finally getting to eat after 8 hours. Like, I don't know. I feel like people are very overacting over this video. But let's see some of the comments here before I play you the video of her talking. The only journalism I trust are Stephanie Sue. I mean, most of the comments are positive, but this is disrespectful to the actual victims. I cannot believe people call this real journalism, right? That's what that comment says. Now let's scroll, if I can get to the replies. Yeah, so you got a lot of different comments, and a lot of people just kind of arguing, not really addressing the actual comment there. But again, yeah, I don't think it's disrespectful what she was doing. She just got out a long case, and she filmed a quick video of herself twirling around and eating a sandwich, guys. Come on. let's calm down. But let me show you guys a video where she's talking.
I just spent 8 hours in a room with Diddy. This is my first time leaving the house in 3 months, and I'm at a federal courthouse in New York City. This is day 2 of jury selection for Diddy's trial, and it was, okay, listen, there's no video cameras allowed. There's nothing. It's not being live streamed, and there's only 3 rows of press that were allowed inside. Listen, the sketch artists are so good, but something about seeing him in person in the same room was so intense. He would turn around and make eye contact with like each members of the press and just like everyone in the courthouse. And the way that we can describe the way he looks, because there's no pictures allowed, so we don't really know, but the way he looks is, okay, we were having debates about this during lunch, but it's like, you know, koalas when they get fuzzy, like if it's really humid and they have like very fuzzy grayish white hair, he kind of is reminiscent to that. But let me tell you, the way he looks at every single person in that courtroom is the most intense thing ever. I feel like he's challenging people to break eye contact first. I almost peed myself. But I'm gonna go through all of the jury selection details in maybe another TikTok, maybe in a YouTube video. Follow Rotten Mango on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube. But starting Monday, once the actual trial starts, once the opening statements start, I'm gonna be in there every single day, and I'm going to give you all the details every single day.
Again, guys, please tell me where was the egg, yo? Guys, where was the egg, yo? There's no egg, yo. No egg, yo. Where was what was really disrespectful? Like, again, she's just telling you what's going on. She's talking about the case. I mean, people are saying she's disrespectful to the witnesses, right? She just said what the statements hadn't even happened when she filmed this video. People, I don't know, had some expectation about how she should act there, and you know, you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. But I mean, you just come out of being somewhere for 8 hours, you finally get fresh air, you're relieved. What do you expect her to come on here and, I don't know, like be sad, I guess, or be like, oh, hi guys, I just came out of court, and yeah, and if you watch her videos, she's very sympathetic to the victims, very sympathetic, right? You guys, you know, let me know in the comments below. So I'm always open to both sides of the argument. I just don't really see, I think on this stance, I'm firmly just on the stance of she's done nothing wrong. Like normally I'll be like, you know what, I can see this side and this side, but on this thing, I just think you sound dumb if you really criticize enough. But we have one more video to react to, guys. So stay with me. Stay with me. All right, guys. Got this video here titled "True Crime YouTuber Stpehanie Sue makes a joke of the Diddy trial." So let's get into it.
A true crime YouTuber named Stpehanie Sue somehow made her way into the Diddy trial. The trial itself has not yet begun, but they're in the process of jury selection. And this YouTuber, who has no journalistic credit, no career in journalism whatsoever, she is merely known for eating massive amounts of fast food in mukbang videos where she narrates crime stories. And that's literally it. That's her entire shtick. A lot of people find that she is able to deliver her video essays respectfully, and other people think that it's inherently disrespectful that she is shoveling her face with KFC while talking about someone dying in a brutal way.
They literally do this in an episode of Person of Interest. Reset the counter. The character of Shaw, like they show a flashback to her when she was in medical school, and like somebody, like a patient of hers, like she was going to be a surgeon and a patient dies, and she like tells the family while eating a Cliff Bar.
Yeah. Well, look, you can't argue with the numbers because Stpehanie Sue is massively popular. I think that maybe she was given a press badge just to get more media attention on the trial in general.
Why isn't Elad over there? We need Elad over
Yeah, what the heck? Elad, get over there, get in the Diddy trial, and start making mukbangs with Stpehanie Sue. That's what we want. So she posted a TikTok talking about what's going on inside the courtroom because there are no cameras allowed, and you're just supposed to rely on her telling you her side of the story.
I mean, the woman who shovels KFC down her face, I trust her implicitly.
She's surprisingly svelte.
Okay, here we go.
I mean, just to pause, bear in mind, again, it's like I said with the mukbangs before, like I told you this was coming back up. You can tell when someone doesn't watch someone's content. Obviously, if you watch her content, which you probably do if you're watching this video, she obviously doesn't I can't remember. I'd have to look on her channels, but I can't remember. I consistently watch her videos. The last time she ate food was at least quite a couple months ago. And when it comes to true crime, she's never, I mean, okay, that's a lie. She has in the past. I know that there was a controversy in the past of her doing that, but she stopped doing that. That was years ago. So, again, it's just a bit like, you can tell you don't watch the content. Anyway.
I just spent 8 hours in a room with Diddy. This is my first time leaving the house in 3 months, and I'm at a federal courthouse in New York City. This is day 2 of jury selection for Diddy's trial, and it was, okay, listen, there's
Is she like using hand sanitizer right now?
no video cameras allowed. There's nothing. It's not being live streamed, and there's only 3 rows of press that were allowed inside. Listen, the sketch artists are so good, but something about seeing him.
This is exactly the type. Guys, this is why women probably shouldn't be journalists, because imagine it's the OJ trial and someone was like, did you see that person doing the sketches? Like, that's something you make 20 years down the line in like
OJ was like low-key serving cunt in the courtroom. This is why women, end of sentence. Just keep going. Yeah.
In person, in the same room, was so intense. He would turn around and make eye contact with like each members of the press and just like everyone in the courthouse. And the way that we can describe the way he looks, because there's no pictures allowed, so we don't really know, but
she's eating an Uncrustable.
Yeah.
The way he looks is, okay, we were having debates about this during lunch, but it's like, you know, koalas when they get fuzzy, like if it's really humid and they have like very fuzzy grayish white hair, he kind of is reminiscent to that. But let me tell you, the way he looks at every single person in that courtroom is the most intense thing ever. I feel like he's challenging people to break eye contact first. I almost peed myself. But I'm gonna go through all of the jury selection details in
Barbara Walters is just like,
Barbara Walters is quaking.
Yeah.
maybe another TikTok, maybe in a YouTube video. Follow Rotten Mango on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube. But starting Monday, once the actual trial starts, once the opening statements start, I'm going to be in there every single day, and I'm going to give you all the details every single day.
Every single day.
this is like,
Which is today. It starts today.
yes, this is kind of like time traveler steps on a stick, house and habit. Right?
Yeah.
So we wanted, as a society, we wanted to tear down the halls of power that were the media and the institutions. We wanted to get rid of your news reporter behind a desk in his suit and tie and the woman in her dress. We wanted on-the-ground reporting from people just like you and me. Yes. Unfortunately, people just like you and me eat Uncrustables and use hand sanitizer while talking about the absolute brutal attack on women and all other such matters of indecency.
And children.
And children. So, you know.
All right. Okay. First of all, right, when have children been brought into this Diddy thing? I don't know. I've not heard nothing about children. First of all, right, and you guys are acting like she's talking about this. She's just talking about being in jury selection, right? Bear in mind, she made this video before the case started, so she's not talking about the actual case. She's not just heard a statement, and even like, even if she came out and she's talking about the statements, fine, you don't want her to eat. But she can't use hand sanitizer now. Or she can't be a little bit upbeat. Like, again, I feel like people like this, you're really nitpicking at stuff. You're really nitpicking at stuff here. A comment about journalism, again, I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around how YouTubers would be so against another YouTuber being in a court, because this is literally what I feel like most YouTubers should be in agreement of this, right? Of a YouTuber being in there, not getting rid of the media. I don't think you should get rid of the media, but they're definitely being a counterforce to the media is a positive, right? Is that not what a lot of people want these days? Like, I don't get it. Like, is it because you didn't get into the trial? I don't understand it. Or it's because she's like a tiny bit upbeat in this video. And again, you know, if these two would actually go watch her videos, her actual videos are more, more detailed. You know, she's just taking a quick video outside the court. So I guess that's why she's it's not as professional, I guess. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. But again, I feel like these two are again just nitpicking like a lot of other people are. Really just nitpicking.
Well,
I suppose we had this coming.
If you wanted to see the mainstream media outlets crash and burn and get replaced by independent media, this is what that looks like.
We spent so long.
For better or for worse.
We spent so long wondering if we could. We never stopped to ask ourselves whether we should.
She followed this up with another TikTok saying in the caption, "Just a girl eating her mushy PB&J outside the federal courthouse after spending 8 hours in the same room as Diddy, taking 79 pages of notes because cameras aren't allowed in the courtroom, and I know you need to know what's happening." So, updates to follow on her YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, every platform. She's going to probably gain a massive following that on top of the one she already has from this coverage, and enrich herself on the irreverence of her coverage about something so inherently serious as claims of abuse, pedophilia, etc. And, you know, since they're in the process of jury selection when she recorded that video, they're asking people if they're aware of celebrities, and I don't know whether they prefer to use baby oil as genital lubricant.
Okay, so what I'm picturing now is like her making her "get ready with me" video right outside the courthouse because she's such a hot mess.
Right,
That's how I would characterize her delivery. Hot mess delivery.
Get ready with me in the courthouse bathroom before the Diddy trial, day one.
I'm wearing orange in honor of the victims.
So deeply unserious.
It's so deeply unserious.
So here were some of the tweets criticizing Stephanie Sue. "The defense of Stephanie Sue will never fail to floor me, because why do you feel compelled to defend a woman who monetizes herself telling stories about the brutalization of real people as though it is gossip or a fairy tale?"
It is. Okay, so that has always been what's weird to me about, like, look, I like, okay, I shouldn't say that I like true crime, but there's, like, I like Mr. Ballin, I guess, like, in so much as that it seems like there's at least a certain amount of seriousness paid to the material. But when I'm watching a woman put eyeshadow on, he's like, and then he cut her head off, I can't.
There's no real way to do that respectfully, but I will entertain the argument. I mean, okay, take a look at this thumbnail from Stephanie Sue. She's sitting there with a co-host of some sort, and the title of her video is "Sick Psychological Experiment Let PDF Files Adopt Young Kids for Fun. KFC Mukbang." And it's just mountains of fried chicken in front of her, making a scared face like, they were brutalizing children?
The only way it could be more unserious is if she had food in her mouth.
I mean, look, I can understand why when she used to do that, right, people had a problem with that. I can understand that. That's an argument where if people want to make that argument, I can understand that. Me personally, I used to see her do those videos. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but most of those videos where she used to do that, I mean, look, she used to at least eat the food before getting into those cases. Again, correct me, I know there might be videos of her talking about it while eating, but she used to eat it before. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, if this is on a Stephanie Sue channel, I don't think that's actually true crime, is it? Right? If I'm not mistaken, that's just a story, you know, like just a fiction. Like she's just doing a story, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's an actual true crime that happened. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, because it might be one of our old videos that I've not seen, so correct me if I'm wrong. But again, this argument is another argument I've seen that people make against her, and I'm like, guys, she stopped doing it. Like, she's seen the criticism and she stopped doing it. And whether you want to make the argument that she stopped doing it because for money reasons, she wanted to keep her career, sure, but she stopped doing it. So again, people bringing this up, again, it was quite a bit ago when she used to do this. You know, it's you just basically bringing up someone's past just to now slate, like people can't change. Like, there's a whole thing where people like, this whole thing that, you know, someone does something, you have to hold them to that same thing forever and ever and ever. It's just insane.
She's actively eating a chicken wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. one person who is a fan of hers said that she regularly tackles heavy subject matter like murder and makes it palpable by inserting respectful playfulness and still advocating for victims. It's just her style of presenting information. I'm just saying I'd rather hear her take than someone in the media.
Okay, so I will say that 110% she's going to find an audience of people that just don't have the desire to sit there and watch a person with a suit and tie or a pleated dress relay information what is societally referred to as the appropriate manner. So there's always going to be a market for something like this. Now, I don't think you're ever going to see something like this make it onto mainstream television, but this is what the internet is. It's taking a bunch of different ideas, many of which are not socially acceptable, and finding your audience. So
I'm not sure there is an objectively right or wrong way to consume information about crime.
I would never...
there is a proper way to make the content, to present the information. I don't think Stephanie Sue is on the mark, being surrounded by donuts and ramen noodles and...
Yeah, again, you clearly... you know what it is? You know, you can tell someone didn't actually go. If you actually check out a lot of her recent videos, this is not me being some super fan defending her, guys, because I don't really, like, even though I watch her, like, I'm not some, like a lot of these people get into people and get super fan, will defend them no matter what. I'm not one of those people. It's just like, if you look at most of her recent videos, the proper videos, or most of her Rotten Mango videos, the recent videos, she's not eating anymore. Again, this video was made a month ago as well, so you know, you didn't make any effort to really look at her channel, but it's fine. You know, it's fine. You didn't make any effort to look at her channel. But again, that criticism, I won't defend that, because I can see why someone eating food while talking about true crime, I can see why some people would be annoyed at that. But again, I think she has a unique talent to be able to tell true crime in a way that makes it engaging. There's a lot of other true crime YouTubers out there that can do the same thing. There's one, her name's like Danielle Christie. I think she's another true crime YouTuber I've watched, where she does the makeup, what they were talking about before, which again, some people might, I guess, find that disrespectful, but again, I don't. Okay, it's just I don't. I know a lot of people don't, because again, it's just another way of consuming true crime. It's not like she's being disrespectful. She's just doing something while talking about the crime, and it works. You know, it works. I don't think it's disrespectful. I think, again, a lot of people are kind of nitpicking. You know, the food stuff I get, but some of the stuff I think you're kind of nitpicking. Let's do what we always do. Let's read some of the comments, because this has been a long video right now. It's been a long video, so thank you for being here. But we're gonna read some comments, and then after that we're gonna leave. Sorry guys, I didn't realize my camera moved. Hopefully it didn't look bad on the small screen. But let's get into some of the comments. I want to make sure I'm understanding this video correctly. You're complaining about her lack of formal journalist credentials while also omitting relevant information about the content creator you're making a video about to essentially fulfill your negative narrative of her. I think it's safe to say no matter which way you slice it, her videos will always have a much higher quality than yours. She reports stories to inform, and you report whatever you want to call this to bring someone else down. Literally the top comment, perfect comment right there. Like literally the perfect comment right there. Like, that's literally how I think I could describe it myself. Like, maybe we should just end the video right there, guys, because that's literally what you're doing. You're literally missing out key information about her just to fuel a narrative, right? Which, again, being a YouTuber and then complaining about a YouTuber getting in a court case is just insane to me. I don't get it. Like, I thought a YouTuber, as YouTubers, you know, I'm a very small creator, obviously, but would be happy that YouTubers have been able to take the step to be in a big trial like this, because before this would have never happened. Never happened. You think a YouTuber could have got in a case like this, they would have laughed at you, which is essentially what you're doing now. So, you know, do you want big media to be the dominant faction, the dominant information giver, or do you want there to be a I don't know. Wow, 53 seconds in and the shoveling her face with KFC already shows me why she has millions of followers and you have exponentially less. Yeah, again, yeah, it's just she can't eat, you know. I don't, after being stuck in a room for 8, you know what we should do? We should lock you in a room for 8 hours, right? Having to take in loads of information about, you know, a serious case, having to take detailed notes because you can't take pictures. You know, we'll lock you in a room like that, and then we'll see how hungry you are after 8 hours of doing stuff like that. She's literally posting on it, you're insane. Yeah, what the, sorry, WTF, Stphanie wrote a manga, is very well researched, incredibly professional with her videos, and also she does not do mukbang videos. How incompetent are you? All you did was watch a single one of her videos, or do any research whatsoever. Wait, did you watch any single one of her videos or do any research whatsoever? This is such a stupid L to take. Do better, or at least the bare minimum. Yeah, look guys, I'm not cherry picking comments. Most of the comments are like this. Yeah, most of the comments are just, yeah, everyone agrees. It's silly video, really. Damn, I thought my thing stopped recording there for a second. That's why I look like that. But look, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. This has been a long video. If you stick to the end, thank you for watching. Again, I just thought I wanted to make this video because I watch her content, a lot of her content. And look, again, I'm not one to defend my favorite content creators just because you're one of my favorite content creators. You know, if the criticism was fair. But look, I looked on different videos, guys. I read through a lot of comments before making this video. I looked on a lot of videos, and a lot of the sentiment I get is not a real journalist, does mukbang videos, even though she doesn't do them that much anymore. And yeah, she's just not a real journalist, I guess. And then yeah, and then you got the other side that I'm on. So look, but I get guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. You know, I've talked enough now. I think you understand how I stand on this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'm out. Peace.